Okay, shall we start? Yes, we can start. Okay. So, good morning, everyone, and I would like to welcome you to the second online thematic workshop and info session for emerging energy value chains organized by the GREENET project. That is the network for Cluster 5 national contact points. My name is Maria Mikroni, and I'm a national contact point at Praxi Network. We are partners in GREENET project, and we are coordinating this series of webinars that they are targeting mainly the newcomers and also the participants coming from widening countries, so countries who are have low performance in research and innovation below the average of EU, and they have low participation in the program. So in today's webinar, we'll be dedicating the energy value chains. Together with our colleagues from TÜBİTAK, we had a mapping exercise coordinated by our Turkish colleagues, where we identified existing competencies in research and development among the widening countries. And we also identified potential in stakeholders participating, leading projects under Cluster 5, and also leading research activities that can contribute to the development of new technologies, emerging technologies, adding value to the outputs and products for the end users. So I don't know if we can share the program. We go through the program just a bit to show you what we're going to see here today. At the same time, while I'm going through the program, you will see we have a slide for you. We expect to see a lot of stakeholders from widening countries, but we have also the Slido, so please participate in the Slido and see who is here with us today. So we start with the info session. The info session is about providing more information to you about GREENET, about the network for Cluster 5 NCPs, our main activities, and how you can gain out of the services and the outputs that we produce. Then, of course, we have open calls for energy since mid-September. So we will have a dedicated presentation about the funding opportunities available. Then we will have from a NCP Wide Data Net project a presentation on the services that the network of Wide Data National Contact Points offers specifically to stakeholders coming from widening countries. We will have a short break, and we will come back with the interactive session for today. This is about showcasing, as I said before, good practices, best practices of coordinators coming from widening countries. And we have a case, a project funded under the Wide Data program, and more specifically, Excellence Hubs. It's about building transnational networks, collaboration of all actors of the quadruple helix, so we can see how and to what extent the regional ecosystems play a role in the local, regional, strategic value chains. And we will close this program for today with a focus in the industry and the role of the SMEs as part of the wider clusters, collaborating with research and bigger industries, and how also they can contribute in emerging technologies and adding value to the research results. So we will have a presentation about the AIC funding instrument, and more specifically about the network of AIC national contact points is access to AIC project, and see what the network also can offer to the stakeholders. And we will close with some closing remarks. So let's see. I don't know if we have replies on the slide, though. I will call my colleague from Czech Republic, Michaela.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Hi.
So I will now share with you the screen so you can see where to join the Slido for like a short icebreaker so that we know a little bit more about you and where you come from and what's your level of experience with Horizon Europe. So if you please could go to the slido.com and use the hashtag GREENET, we can wait a little bit. And then we start with like 4 short questions.
Okay. So I
So
don't know.
in the meantime, yeah, we can start with the first one.
We can continue. Okay. So yeah. So do we have already some results?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's great. So we can see participants from Turkey, Czech Republic, Greece also is here, France. So widening countries, Turkey is quite present here today. Thank you all. Greece also, that's very good. Italy, non-widening, but still a very key player in Horizon. Greece, okay, great. I'm very happy to see that we have a good representation of at least the countries representing here the panel as well. Okay, so yeah, maybe we can continue. Of course, more people, we expect more people to join, but this is just the first indicator. It's an icebreaker, so it's good to know, okay, which type of organization do you represent? Mostly public, but we have also a lot of national contact points together with us today. That's a good to see. Private sector, that's very good to see that we have also the private sector, since we have a lot of information also for you. Okay, so yeah, the percentages are changing, but still I think we have a good representation of national contact points, but both public and private sector. So that's very good to see. Let's continue with the next one. How would you rate your level of experience? So yeah, these webinars are focused to newcomers and widening stakeholders, but still information is for everyone. And of course, this is a good opportunity to get to know each other. Okay, so moderately advanced, very good percentage, beginners, and proficient, lower percentage. So I think that we are in a very good position. Okay, so we have beginners, we have moderately advanced, so we are quite fine. So thank you, Michaela. I think for now, okay, we have another one, specific call. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have an open calls, so it's good to know if you are preparing for a proposal for the open calls under Horizon Europe in general, but also Cluster 5. So a lot of you are preparing. That's very good to know. And we will see today what are the opportunities, some clarifications that might help you about the calls that you have identified, and also other services, especially for coming from the Wide Data Net project, that can assist you in this process. Okay, thank you so much, Michaela. I think if we don't have, okay, great. Thank you so much for these questions. And I think now we can move on to the first presentation for today. I would like to invite the coordinator of GREENET, Miriam De Angelis, to present us the project. Good morning, Miriam. Nice to see you. And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maria, and thank you all for organizing this event. I'm Miriam De Angelis, the coordinator of GREENET, the project actually promoting this initiative and the network of Cluster 5 National Contact Point. So let's start with a brief introduction about the network and the services and tools that we offer to applicants. Next slide, please. Just for you, a brief overview. The basic, very basic characteristics of the project. It's the network of national contact point for cluster 5, meaning we cover these sectors of climate, energy, and mobility. This network is funded by the European Commission under Horizon Europe as any other project of the same kind. We launched the network in July 2022, which will lead to an end on the 31st of December 2027, more or less in correspondence with the end of the framework program itself. The network is basically populated by 19 beneficiaries. However, all the national contact points for cluster 5 can join our activities, can take advantage of our services and tools. And they are basically engaged in all of our activities. Can we go forward? This is just a quick look at the consortium. As you can see, we have a very broad geographic representation. But again, this is just the beneficiaries. However, the network targets the overall community of national contact points and, of course, cluster 5 applicants, as you may be. Can we go forward? Thanks. The objectives, why the European Commission decided to fund a network for national contact points for several reasons. Because there is a need to raise the standard of supports to applicants by enhancing the competencies of Cluster 5 and CPs, because we want to raise the awareness of applicants themselves on the opportunities offered by Horizon Europe and Cluster 5 specifically, as well as their knowledge on the matters that the Cluster 5 covers. How do we do that? We do it by developing and providing to applicants and NCPs tools that may be useful in tackling the challenges posed by Cluster 5. We also target with specific actions the widening countries. This very present initiative, this very event, is in fact targeting widening countries, supporting their participation in Cluster 5 calls for proposals, namely today proposals on energy demand. Last but not least, we also decided to focus on supporting on strengthening the networking opportunities for Cluster 5 applicants. This is why we organize brokerage events, mainly, but not only, in conjunction with the official EC Cluster 5 Info Days. There will be one, in fact, in spring 2025. Next slide, please. This is just, I will go very briefly through that. It's just to give you the idea that GREENET as network of national contact points is not like was not born in a void, but it's the heir of it comes from a very long heritage of long history of previous NCPs networks. the one that I'm showing you here are from Horizon 2020, but just think about the fact that networks of national contact point already exist in the 7th framework program. So time by time, we are trying to always improve the services and the tools we provide to stakeholders, to our stakeholders. Can you please go forward? And now, as I mentioned, there are several tools that we have developed for our stakeholders. Those that are sitting on our website, the main ones are the one that you see here. We have a toolbox, meaning a section of our website where you will find collected different material, information material, and specifically fact sheets for the moment on each and every a European partnership linked to Cluster 5, but also to other founding programs and other initiatives that may be of relevance for stakeholders of Cluster 5. So initiatives that have to do with energy, but also with mobility or climate, including other founding programs like the Innovation Fund, the CEF, so on and so forth, have a dedicated fact sheet which is available and downloadable from our toolbox. Then we have a newsletter. This newsletter is issued every 3 months. You can register on our website and receive the newsletter, which is gathering relevant events, relevant initiatives, articles on main policies or new policies and strategies that the European Commission launches. This may be of interest. And as mentioned, also the partner search tool. The partner search tool is accessible through our website. This will lead you to a dedicated platform, which is the same that we use for our brokerage events. And this platform will allow to register, promote your profile or your profile, whether it's a competencies offered or a project idea, and liaise with interested parties with the aim of creating consortia for Cluster 5 calls for proposals. Next, please. Other virtual tools that we offer are the European Cluster 5 document repository. This is a repository of the main strategies, roadmaps, position papers, white papers, strategic research and innovation agendas, etc., issued by the different organizations, associations, and also main centers and agencies at the European level with regard to the topics, with regard to the fields covered by Cluster 5. These documents, these strategies are categorized per association, and also per sector in order to make it easy for users to browse. And it is actually linked to another directory that we have, another database, which is the stakeholder directory. This stakeholder directory is a database of organizations, again, agencies, associations, but also research centers at the European level that are divided into influencers and follower according to their role in shaping or influencing the content of the work programs of Cluster 5. So if you browse the stakeholder directory and you are interested in certain organizations, you will learn whether they are influencer or followers, what are the contacts, what are the websites, and whether they have, what is the field of reference, and whether they have documents in the document repository. Through a link, in fact, you will be led to the document repository section, where all the documents issued by that specific organizations are available. Next, please. So, as mentioned, I will go very quickly through this. As mentioned, we have different fact sheets. There are more than 11 fact sheets, I guess, at the moment. I'm sorry, because this is not updated. But as you can see on the right part of the slide, we have 12 new fact sheets planned. Some of these are already available. So if you go on a website, you will already find some of these new fact sheets published. Next, please. For what regards widening countries, we mentioned that some of our stakeholders have specific activities targeted to them. This is the case of widening countries, and in order to promote the innovation and showcase the innovation potential of research and innovation communities in widening countries, we developed and published the videos, several videos, some interviews to main research and innovation actors from certain widening countries like Poland, Greece, Turkey, and Malta. That are successful in the cluster 5, but also some additional videos going deeper into specific sectors like the hydrogen one, and related the success story from Turkey and from Poland. New videos, I believe there is already one available on the Portuguese research and innovation communities. There are several new ones, and there is also a line in the pipeline. So there are other interviews planned to be issued soon. The section of the website where you will find these videos is called Discover the Ecosystem, the Cluster 5 ecosystem. Next, please. And of course, our YouTube channel. This is an overview of the newsletter. I won't go into the details with regard to this. Can we go to the next slide? This is the partner search tool. We will get into the details of the partner search tool later, I guess. This is anyway always open, a permanently open platform where you can register anytime. Of course, the efficacy, the efficiency, and how to say, the advantage is to do so when there are calls open. Otherwise, the idea, I mean, the main aim of building consortium for cluster 5 calls is not served. Next, please. This is the stakeholder directory. It's just a way for you to see the way it looks. As you can see, you have different types. You have influencer or followers of the work program among the categories, the search categories. Then you have type of organization. You have the different sector. The visualization is the one you see here. Can we go forward, please? And this is the document repository from the stakeholder or even independently. You can access the document repository, which is in fact like a huge database of documents. Can we go forward, please? We also organize training events for NCPs, both on site and online. They are sitting on our website, the news, and also we send the mailing. Can we go forward, please? We also organize NCP forums for NCP, which is another type of event. Can we go forward? Twinning for NCPs, forward, please. And a mentoring program for NCPs, forward. And as for what we got applicants, we also have on-site and online training events. There are webinars whose recordings are already available on our website, and there will be also other webinars in the coming months. My suggestion is to keep updated through our website and to register to be informed. Next, please. These are the networking events. There is a list of those that we have already organized in conjunction with the EC Info Days for the past calls. There will be another one in spring 2025 in conjunction with the European Commission Cluster 5 Info Day for 2025 calls. Ideally, this brokerage event will take place in a hybrid format, if not on site. So if you are going to, if you are interested, again, keep updated through our social media outlets and website. Can we go forward, please? This is my last slides. My last slide. These are the contacts of the project. We have a LinkedIn group. We have a Nix account, a Twitter account, and we also have, again, the website, which is accessible through the address that you see on the slide. Hopefully I didn't take too much time. Thank you very much for your attention. This is my contacts in case you want to get in touch.
Great. Thank you so much, Miriam, for this presentation and for giving us all this information about activities related to NCPs and networks, but also mainly to applicants interested in applying for Cluster 5 calls. There was a question just before we continue whether we are going to share the recording of this webinar. We're going to upload for sure the presentations and send the presentations and all the material that will be presented here today to the registrants. And we can see whether we can also upload maybe on our website this recording, so it is available to all and the ones that couldn't be present today. So without any further delay, I would like to continue with the next presentation and welcome my colleagues, Frankie and Benjamin, who will be presenting us the Cluster 5 and the current open calls related to energy. So the floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Maria. So I will be starting to present the broad structure of Horizon Europe and the Cluster 5. I think we are a bit late, so I will try not to take too long. I'm Benjamin. I'm French NCP for Cluster 5, Climate, Energy and Mobility topics. Frankie, you can go to the next slide. And the next one, yes. So just to refresh you about how it is structured. So Horizon Europe is structured around 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is more focused on basic research. Pillar 2, the one we will be talking about today, is structured about incremental research and collaborative projects. And Pillar 3 is more about disruptive innovation. Pillar 2 represents more than half of the budget of Horizon Europe with 53.5 billion euros. And within pillar 2, 15.1 billion euros are dedicated to Cluster 5 on climate, energy, and mobility topics. Next slide, please. So Horizon Europe, and especially the Pillar 2, follows a top-down approach. This means you can't simply ask to the European Commission to fund your specific project. Instead, you need to respond to the priorities and challenges set by the European Commission in specific calls, which are gathered in work programs. These projects must be transdisciplinary, transsectoral, and transnational. This means that you will basically gather with partners from different countries in Europe and build a consortium to answer to the specific calls. The minimum standards are to be at least 3 partners from 3 different countries. But based on the previous projects, the average size of a consortium is rather 15 partners. And projects typically last 3 to 4 years and have 4 to 5 million euros budget on average. You can go to the next slide. In the work programs, you can find 3 different types of action. 2 of them target research and innovation actions, and 1 do not address research activities. So the research and innovation actions funds early stage projects with lower TRL, and TRL means technology readiness level. This is a scale used to measure the maturity of your technology. So lower TRL is for research and innovation actions, and higher TRL is for innovation actions, typically when you start prototyping your solution. Next slide, please. This is to show you what is the TRL scale. This is very important because it gives you a lot of information when you start building your project. So it ranges from 1 to 9, from the initial idea to a fully qualified system, and TRL 5, which is the limit between innovation actions and research innovation actions, is really when you start going beyond the lab and testing in representative environments. So this is just to show you what a call for projects typically looks like. So you have a code and a title for the call, which we also call topic. So a title for the topic, and then some specific conditions where you will find the budgets, the type of actions, and the TRL indications. You also find some expected outcomes, which are the results you need to achieve by the end of the project, either midterm or long-term results. And then what the European Commission call a scope, which are typically the activities you will need to develop during the duration of your projects to meet the identified results. Next slide. So this was about the structure of Horizon Europe, and now a bit more specifically about the cluster 5. So all clusters are divided into what we call destinations, which are just basically chapters. Each chapter being structured around major challenges. So in cluster 5, we have 6 destinations. 1 around climate sciences, the second one about mainly batteries, destination 3 and 4 about energy supply and energy use, and then destinations 5 and 6 about transport and mobility. Each destination is then divided into what we call sub-destinations, sub-chapters, which targets sub-themes, more specific areas of focus. And then each sub-destinations gather what I talked about earlier, so the call for projects, the topics. So this is just to show you that in cluster 5, we typically have a lot of opportunities to apply for call for projects. So in the current work program, which was from 2023 to 2024, you had numerous deadlines where you could apply for projects, and they are spread across the entire duration of the work program. And now we have only a few calls left, which are actually not in January anymore, but in February. I made a mistake. This is an old slide. And then last slide, I think this is just to show you a bit how the topics are spread in work program, in the work program 2023-2024. And this work program, we had a budget of around almost 2.4 billion euros. And the biggest topic was about energy, which had the highest budgets, and especially because it gathers a lot of topics around renewable energy. Overall, the number of topics for the rest is fairly balanced. Just a last indication. So now we are closing the work program 2023-2024, and we are expecting the new work program for 2025. But due to the European elections, it is not yet published, and we are expecting the publication by April 2025. So we really advise you to remain to stay tuned for the publication of this work program, because then you will have a little time to apply for the course in 2025 because of this delay. And I give you the floor, Frankie. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. I'm Frankie, I'm from Malta, and I'm in NCP for Cluster 5, like my colleagues. And I will be showing you the topics that will be presented in the current program. So here is a direct link to the work program that we've been talking about for the 2023-2024. Here we will find everything about climate, energy, and mobility since 2023, all the topics. Here is a briefer overview of the topics that will be presented today. So this is the destination 3 main criteria, which is about developing industrial leadership and to provide affordable and clean energy. Cluster 5 fits well with the policy of the EU about the Green Deal, and it helps the European Economic Area to help them get into their targets for their respective countries for the year 2030. Here you have links which will take you directly to the funding contenders portal, where you will find all information required regarding each of these topics that we've listed here. These 6 topics that we've listed from this call, which is the second call for Destination 3, are relevant for the energy sector. But there are more topics for this destination and for this call. If I'm not mistaken, in total there are 16. But these 6 topics are mainly relevant for energy. So each of this topic is giving some information here. So we're finding that topic 1 is an innovative action and will get 3 million per project, and 2 projects will be funded. Topic 2 will be a research and innovative action, and each project will get 4 million. And here we're finding 3 projects to be funded. In topic 3, which is also a research and innovative action, each project will get 3.5 million, and it is foreseen to have 2 projects funded. Topic 4 will be a research and innovative action, and here each project will have 4 million, and as expected, 2 projects will be awarded funding. Topic 5 is an innovative action. Each project will get 7 million, and it's expected to have 2 projects funded. And topic 6 will also be an innovative action, and each of the projects will get 5 million. The deadline for submitting the proposal for these topics is the 4th of February 2025. These have to be submitted on the funding attenders portal, and in order to submit your proposal, you need to be registered on the funding portal and also having your entity registered there. We shift to destination 4. Here we're seeing energy applied in buildings. So how to make our buildings more energy efficient, but not just on regarding energy, but also on the use of the materials with regards to their construction also. From this current call, which has roughly 5 topics, 3 of these topics have been identified which would be relevant for the energy sector. This doesn't imply that you will be finding energy which will be part of the project itself, but energy is required since there will be forecasted a reduce in the energy performance of a building. So it could be relevant to those organizations where they will see, I don't know, maybe they're using some systems which will help in better use of energy, so that, for example, heating of a building can be done alternatively when from the current systems, like using a boiler or maybe also solar heating on the current buildings. Here is a brief overview of each of the calls. So the topics are the 3 of them: an innovative action, which have been identified. All 3 are expected to fund 2 projects each. And for topic 1, it is expected to fund 8 million per project. For topic 3, that will be 4 million per project. And the funding for topic 5 will be 5 million per project. The same as the destination 4 call. The deadline for the submission of these proposals will be the 4th of February 2025. How we NCPs can help you find your partners. So as our project coordinator, Miriam, had a brief introduction to the partner search tool, where can you access the partner search tool? So the partner search tool is funded through the GREENET project, and you can access this partner search tool via either the website which was presented earlier, and here you have a way of how to access that partner search tool, or else directly to the web address. What's the purpose of the GREENET Partner Search Tool and who can apply? So basically, anyone who can apply for the topics present in cluster 5, they can apply to register on our partner search tool. The same as in the GREENET, you will be doing when someone is registering on the GREENET Partner Search tool. They will also be doing a profile for themselves and their companies. Anyone from either academia, public authorities, SMEs, private sector, anyone can apply to register on the GREENET Partner Search Tool. The main purpose of the Partner Search Tool is to give an opportunity to those to either coordinators to find participants which they are scoping for their projects. As you might be aware, when you go into the topic description and the topic scope for each of the topics within a call, there are certain deliverables which are required to be delivered by the end of the project. And there could be a window of opportunity where the consortium would require an additional partner or is still looking for partners to deliver a particular point from those points that are needed to be delivered by the end of the project. And the main purpose of the partner search tool is there to be another tool with the many tools available, which for instance include also the funding and Enter portal itself, to help these organizations find those partners. Interestingly enough, it also serves the purpose to help participants to submit their interest in participating in a project. So you will find both both organizations who have project ideas and registered participants who would like to participate in a particular call, in a particular topic. In order to participate in this partner search tool, each registrant is required to select not more than 5 topics from all the calls which will be opened per year. Why per year? Because up till this year, the work program was biannually. It's only for 2025, which the work program will be single year. And then we will seeing again the work program for 2026 and 2027. So in order to give the opportunity for various individuals to find partners for their projects, it is mainly provided that for each year, not more than 5 topics are selected from all of the destinations. So that's 6 destinations in cluster 5 with an ample amount of topics to be chosen. So no one can be accepted if they select all of them, exceed the 5 topics per year, or if they select none. And here there is a small list of the events that are relevant to the energy community, which will be taking place in November. These are the European Hydrogen Week, and there you have also a link which takes you directly to the website of the event, and the Battery Innovation Days, which will be, both of them will be in person. With the Battery Innovation, Dave's also giving the opportunity to collaborate online too. And for both, you have the links for the website, and more information can be taken from those websites. These are not managed by us. These are managed by the respective parties who are organizing those events. But these events are listed on our partner search tool and also on the GREENET website. Thank you, everyone. Here are the contact details for both myself and Benjamin. If you have any details, feel free to get in touch with us. And if you have any queries regarding how to make use the partner search tool, feel free to get in touch with any of the NCPs or myself, who we take care of the GREENET projects. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you guys for this great presentation. Before we continue, just to remind you that if you have any questions, I think there was one question about the new work program, but I guess, I think that as far as I know, it will be next year, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we can provide more details about the new calls. Benjamin, would you like to say something about it?
Yeah, I answered to the question directly in the chat. I just said that yes, it will be published very late. This is unfortunate, but this is due to the commission and the election of the new commissioners, new European Parliament. Sorry. So the only piece of advice that I can provide is to remain very much ready for when the new work program is published, to be ready to start working on your proposal. Anyway, the work program should be published around, we think, April 2025, and not before.
What I can say
Thanks a
from my
lot.
side,
Yes.
what I can state from my side is that once the draft work program is made published, we will be updating the partner search tool with the new calls for 2025. And this will also be done eventually for the 2026 and 2027 work program too. But unless we have the go-ahead from the Commission to have this published, we will not be publishing either on the GREENET partner search tool.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Frankie, also for making this specific reference to the partner search tool. So if you haven't registered so far, please do so you can start networking already. And so we are going to close. I will go directly to the next presentation that we will close this session with. This is for the available services from NCP Wide Data Net. Unfortunately, the coordinator was not able to be here with us today, so I will be delivering this presentation as also a national contact point for this thematic area. Okay, so please let me know if everything works, okay? Okay.
We're seeing your screen, now we're seeing the presentation.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Okay, so just briefly, I will tell you a bit about the Wide Data NCP project. The NCP Wide Data Net project is the transnational network of national contact points for the horizontal thematic of widening participation and strengthening of the European research area. Here you can see some basic information about the project. Of course, it's funded as all project for national contact points under the Horizon Europe program. It's a coordination and support action. It started in 1st April 2022, and the duration is 36 months. So we expect to finish the project activities by next year, next March. And the coordinator is from Poland, is the National Center for Research and Development. Here you can see the partners of the project is quite a big consortium. You can see a lot of countries, NCP organizations coming from widening countries, the majority, and also participation of associated countries on the right side. Here are the main objectives of the project. Is an NCP project, so we have activities and that target both the NCP networks and the applicants. So we aim to support the effectiveness and capacity of the national contact points in order to bridge the different realities between the applicants, to fill in the knowledge gaps, and eventually to improve the access to funding opportunities. Of course, networking is important, so we support international networking and coordination, and also widening applicants to submit more, raise their participation, but also the quality of the proposals submitted to the open calls. And within the network, we share good practices, and we try to raise from the more experienced to less experienced NCPs the standards of support and the professionalization of support that we provide to our applicants. So these are a number of activities. First, we have workshops taking place for stakeholders at national also level on proposal preparation and info days. Apart from the widening part, we have also another destination on the European research area. Is about more cross-cutting horizontal issues, touching the gender issue, touching the open science, ethics, and the support of the people who are involved in support for research. So we have dedicated info days, knowledge days, and progress events just for this destination. We produce policy brief, and we also promote success stories. And other opportunities that you can find in other pillars of the second pillar and clusters in relation to such thematic areas. Within the network, as I said before, we try to build capacity. So we organize a lot of trainings, exchange visits, and other mentoring events. But we also meet in a more informal way. We have meetings, online meetings, chat over coffee, where we discuss issues in relation to the calls, and any other where there is a demand or there is a need within the network to be discussed. Just to mention something more specific, as a project, we coordinate also, we give financial support to parties, and this is the most important thing that we mentioned today. So maybe some of you already know, we support the participation, we try to increase and support the participation of stakeholders in widening countries to matchmaking events, to brokerage events, to any kind of event that has matchmaking and networking sessions. So we, the partners of the project, but also other NCP organizations that have a contract with the project, we have money to give to the applicants. These are given in the form of a travel grant. So we support their participation in such events, including, for example, the Hydrogen Week that was presented before by Frankie. I'm not sure about the event on batteries, but in any case, you can be informed from the website on the list of all the events that you can apply at your national contact point at your country for grants. Apart from that, we support also the participation of researchers and research support staff through a dedicated task on study visits. Study visits take place in excellent research organizations in countries that are located in non-widening countries, but still partners in the project. So Italy, Germany, Finland, and Spain. And we support its NCP organization in every country that has this amount of money, supports the participation of up to 5 researchers and research support staff to go to these institutions in order to network, of course, but also to try to identify good practices on how they can make other structures better in order to increase fundraising and overall participation in research and research innovation programs. I will continue a bit because we don't have a lot of time to mention that all these activities are under a specific work package, that is the Advancing Work Europe package. Through these activities, apart from giving travel grants, we are providing free of charge services, pre-screening services, to all the applicants coming from widening countries that they're preparing proposals are as coordinators or work package leaders. This is not only for WIDERA program, but this is also for Pillar 2 proposals, the institutionalized European partnerships that were mentioned also before, relevant to not only to Cluster 5 overall, and the AIC Pathfinder. Why we do this? Because, as I said before, one of the targets is to improve also the quality of proposals submitted by coordinators, widening coordinators. We have some statistics to present so far. So who is providing this service? This service is provided by a number of experts. These experts can be from any country. They need to register on the portal, and they are the ones that they will provide a number of recommendations to the applicants who would like to receive this service, and they will be paid for this service by the national contact point organization in every country. So far we have 900 registers for experts. We have also NCPs registered on this base. It's 137, and we have a very good number of proposals who received this free of charge service, pre-screening service. It's 80 already. Here are some also statistics in relation to the score, the average score for proposals who received the service through the wide data net and the ones who haven't received it. You can see the numbers are quite good for the ones who utilize the service. And here is how basically this service works. So of course, we have the applicant, as I mentioned before, who should be a coordinator and work package leader coming from a widening country. He has to register on this and provide a summary of his proposal that ideally is in an advanced level. Then, of course, there is the NCP in every country that is involved in this, is notified about this request. And then we have the experts, the database with the experts, and the NCP is in charge of making the matchmaking between the applicant and the expert on the basis of the expertise. We have experienced professionals with high level of expertise in all fields under the Pillar 2 and other relevant thematic areas. Here you can apply if you are interested for the service, indicating the area, providing some keywords that will be helpful to do the effective matchmaking, and other details like call ID, proposal ID, and also at the beginning at least a first summary of your proposal. Then, as I said before, these experts are paid by the project, by the NCP organization. So they sign the contract with this organization, depending on the country of origin of the applicant. The pre-screening takes place, the expert provides, there is an online communication, and the expert provides for some recommendations on how to improve their proposal. And then the expert, as soon as the service is finalized, he can receive up to 600 euros. Here you can see some feedback we received already, and it's quite positive feedback about the recommendation, about the expertise, how they assisted in proposal preparation, about certain sections like impact and excellence. And as I said before, apart from this, we have the travel grants that we give out to the stakeholders. Already 21 partners participate in this process, and they have already given out a number of travel grants. This is up to the amount that you can get is up to 1,000 euros. This is a very easy process. You can find all the details on our website, and most possibly in the national website in your countries. So you have to fill in an application form. Before, of course, you have to register, and then as soon as you come back, because we need to evaluate also the impact of this, and the output of all this process is you have to follow, you have to complete a report, a follow-up form. I mentioned before about this very particular task, the study visits. Here you can see a photo of the first study visit that took place in the Institute for Bioengineering of Catalonia in Spain. We started in February 2024. We have already 5 study visits that took place, targeting mainly research support staff, but also researchers in the last one in Germany. So we have the last one up that is coming in Italy and most probably it will be next year. And again, the amount that you can, depending on there is a certain countries participate, there is a certain list of countries participating. So maybe your country will not participate. You have to check first on the call as soon as this is published. And for any further details, you can contact directly the coordinator team of the NCP Wide DataNet. You can follow our websites. If you are interested to apply as an expert, or if you are preparing a proposal and you would like to receive a recommendation by an expert, please do so. And you can also follow us on social media and subscribe on the newsletter. So yeah, this is from my end. And with this presentation, I think we closed the first session. I don't know if there are any replies. Can anyone register? We are not an expert. Yeah, this is this portal. Okay, so if you would like to find partners, I guess that you are referring to the portal for the pre-screening, but this is just for pre-screening if you are preparing a proposal. If you want to network and find partners, you can register on the GREENET Partner Search platform. Of course, if you want, depending on if you are preparing or you have a project idea that you want to network, you can see if there is a relevant event, a matchmaking event, and if you can apply for a travel grant. But this is just for pre-screening. This what I mentioned before. If you're referring to the same portal, this is just for pre-screening services. So just only if you can review a proposal as an expert, or you are preparing a proposal, coordinating or leading a work package. Okay, so I think now we should have started the second part, but first of all, I would like to thank you all, the speakers of the first session. Thank you all for being here and for the information you provided. I would like, before we go on a very, very short break, 5 minutes break, to welcome Dr. Derek Baker, who will be the speaker of the next session. Dr. Baker, are you with us? Hi.
Yes, I'm here.
How are you? Thank you
Good,
for
thank you.
accepting our invitation. We're very glad that you are here. If it's okay with you, just to have a 5-minute break, very short break, and we come back with the second interactive session.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, and see you soon. In 5 minutes, we will come back. This is about, yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. We will continue our webinar for today with the interactive session. So we have the pleasure to host today Dr. Derek Baker, representing a particular project funded by the Wide Data program. This is an Excellence Hub project, the Solar Hub. Just before I give the floor to Dr. Baker, I would like to say this is a project funded by this program, but still Excellence Hubs is about promoting transnational cooperation, is about collaboration among regional ecosystem, place-based ecosystems. So while it is part of this program, we see that it's not like the common, let's say, most maybe famous calls that are more like institutional centered around an institution and a research organization. So it's about more involving more key players of the Quiet Trouble Helix. So academia, business, public authorities, and the end users, typical end users like civil society. So it's about putting forward activities, presenting activities, research activities, that they are linked also to national and regional strategies under a common framework, under a common strategy, is about common projects, is about a common project, so collaborative links among different countries, widening countries mainly, and among different sectors. So we are talking about the actual technology transfer and valorization of research results into the economy. And of course, to ensure, but of course, Dr. Baker will tell us more about how they approach this within their project activities. It's about sustainability of such results. So we see how these are how this is ensured through maybe business plans or business models in order to ensure that these activities will have an actual impact in the long term. So without any further delay, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Baker. Thank you again for being here with us. And we look forward to hear more about your project.
Yes, thank you very much for the very comprehensive introduction. And so I think you can see my screen now. Is that correct?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. Again, my name is Derek Baker. I'm the project coordinator for the project excellence hub project called Solar Hub. I'm from Ankara, Turkey. So not only is Turkey a widening country, it's also an associated country. And so my presentation will be in three parts. The first part will be focusing on the Sport Package 3 title, lowering the barriers for newcomers and participants from widening countries, and Cluster 5. We'll talk about my experiences in becoming integrated through European funded research. The second part will be focusing on this emerging energy value chains in widening countries, which is the theme for this workshop. The third part will be talking about my vision moving forward. And so again, this is this first part. And so as the background, my experiences, I coordinated the Solar Twins project, which ended about a year ago. I'm currently coordinating the Solar Hub project, which goes on for another about 2 years. I've also been a partner in 7 EU projects. And so as background or context for how I became integrated into European research, my area is what's called concentrated solar thermal, CST, and conceptually CST is nothing more than just taking a magnifying glass on a sunny day, and if you hold this magnifying glass just right, you can start a fire. And so basically the underlying purpose for CST is to use concentrated solar energy as a high temperature heat source. And we can use this heat source to replace combustion processes. And so geographically, this is a map about what's called direct normal irradiation. This direct normal irradiation, DNI, is how we characterize the solar radiation for CST. And so as you move into the orange, the kind of reddish areas, these areas have very, very high solar resources. As you move down into the blue and green, they have lower resources. But not surprisingly, within Europe, most of the resources are down here along the Mediterranean basin. In particular, Spain and Madrid have some of the largest resources. And so this geographic location in Turkey becomes one of my competitive advantages because we have really large market opportunities. It's therefore this interests the European community a lot. Additionally, the CST community in Europe is small and it's very, very well organized and very, very collaborative. It's this collaborative nature of this research network has been very, very helpful for me. And then finally, we are the leading CST research group in Turkey. And so this also is our competitive advantages. So I entered into European research through what's called the EU Solaris project, with an FP7 project from 2012 to 2016. And the goal was to bring together Europe's research infrastructure and CST into the pan-European research infrastructure to more fully compete against large research infrastructure in, for example, the United States, Japan, and other large and developed economies. And so Europe is a global leader in CST technologies. This is an installation in the Pyrenees Mountains of France. Basically, what's happening is you have these mirrors called heliostats, and they concentrate the solar energy onto the secondary reflector here. And the secondary reflector focuses the sunlight down onto the focal point here. This is a building, this is a door, and so you understand the scale of this research infrastructure. And so Europe has a lot of these very large and unique and very, very valuable research infrastructures distributed among different countries. And so again, thinking about the map, if you think about CST markets, Turkey is very important in terms of market potentials and sector. This is why we were invited. And so this inclusion into EU Solaris has enabled, let me do one thing. Has enabled or directly catalyzed 2 EU projects that I've coordinated. It's also been connected with another proposals coordinated by Turkey, 16 EU CST projects with Turkish partners. You can look at the funding involved, 3.8 million of direct competitive funding directly cataloged by EU Solaris, up to 85 million euros in total competitive EU funds, CST research, in which Turkey participated. This is the sum of the consortium budgets. And so then you can see that we have a lot of money involved here. A lot of our projects are directly tied to this. Unfortunately, the EU Solaris has evolved into what's called a European Research Infrastructure Consortium, which is a legal entity. And right now, Turkey does not have the legal structures to join this what's called an ERP. And this is one of the threats we're facing right now, is due to a lack of poor regulations that are not national regulations and are not aligned with European regulations. We're increasingly at risk of being frozen out of these follow-up fundings. But this is basically where the source or the catalyst for most of my EU funds. Another one of my competitive advantages is that I've supported a lot the evaluation of a lot of EU proposals. This includes the Horizon 2020 program, the Horizon Europe program, which we're discussing right now, also the Innovation Fund program. So a total of 22 evaluations. And so most of the time I serve as what's called the rapporteur in non-CST clean energy calls. And so, as I said, the CST community in Europe is very, very small. They typically have too many conflicts of interest to actually serve as an evaluator. So as part of that, I did serve as a rapporteur. And this is nice for me because I've been put into panels evaluating a diverse set of calls, including carbon-intensive industries, the built environment, PVs, synthetic fuels, and so on. And this has given me a very holistic view about different trends at European level in the clean energy area. And so I treat this work as advanced EU proposal writing. It gives me a lot of insight into how proposals are evaluated, also how a really strong EU proposal is structured. It also helps me understand the broad trends, and it helps me to strengthen my networks. And so after each evaluation process, I always ask myself, what differentiated the lowest ranked funded proposal from the highest ranked funded proposal? And it's really becoming increasingly obvious to me that really the only thing separating the lowest ranked funded proposal from the highest ranked funded proposal is just luck. And so psychologically, this has been important to me to accept that a lot of the outcomes in EU funding is just luck. And if you were to change some of the conditions under which the evaluation occurred, you would change the outcomes. And so it's not only about how strong your proposal is, there's a lot of things outside your control. And once I accepted that, it was much easier for me to submit proposals. So how does this translate into all of this experience? Looking at how proposals are evaluated and what a strong proposal looks like. How does this translate into outcomes? Well, you can see these are the different proposals that I have worked on, and you see a lot of rejections. So in total, you can see them categorized based on whether or not I coordinated or led the writing, let's write it in some part, or provided strategic inputs. And so for all 8 of these proposals, we spent a lot of time on this, especially these 4 where I led or coordinated writing. So lessons learned. The evaluation process is based on expert opinion, and the commission explicitly says this. It's the opinion of the expert. If you change the expert, you change the opinion sometimes. And therefore, this process is very non-repeatable. It can be very frustrating if you expect a repeatable process. It's not. And because of this high number of failures, I have increasingly, before I start thinking about, do I want to pursue a proposal, is I identify what I call benefits to a failed proposal. Because even if I write a strong proposal, it may be rejected just due to bad luck. And this benefits to a failed proposal will come up again as we move forward. I am here because I've also had some successes. And so you can see these are the proposals that have been accepted. Solar Twins and Solar Hub were the 2 that I coordinated. And so as some conclusions and lessons learned, you can see a lot of these here and down here. We only provided input, and I didn't actually, was not a major factor in the elaboration of proposal. And this is where my networks became critical. And that in many cases, the consortium needed a partner from Turkey, and we were the leading partner. You can also see that as time progressed, we moved from just providing input into actually coordinating successful proposals. And so we've been learning, our capacities have been increasing. For this Solar Twins proposal that was accepted, that I coordinated, we could never have written this without a failed EU proposal. And the first proposal that I wrote, when I got the evaluation summary report back, ESR, I was really disappointed. Not that my proposal failed, because I knew there's a good chance it would fail, but that I felt like the evaluation process was fundamentally flawed. And I read through this evaluation summary report, and it just didn't read right. And so I'm not sure that my proposal was actually better than those that were funded, because in hindsight, I see some weaknesses. But I also can see that the process was flawed. And this is really, really upsetting to me. It took me actually 2 years before I could actually write another proposal because I didn't want to go through this process again. So if I ask myself what happened, well, through these 22 evaluations that I've helped support, I've probably worked with about 90 to 100 different experts. And so of this 90 to 100, there was one who I would say was, to be blunt, was incompetent. So 1 out of 100, if I had an incompetent expert evaluating my proposal, this could have led to a bad outcome. So, 1% chance, and maybe this 1% chance happened. I can also say that about 15% of the evaluators are biased against associated countries. So if I had an evaluator who was biased against associated countries, that could also impact the evaluation. But on the other hand, this suggests about 85% of the experts are going to give me a fair chance. And so this is the key. It's like 85% of the time, I think I do get a fair evaluation. And this is what I try to focus on. And so for the Solar Twins, I thought a lot about whether or not to write this proposal. And I actually went through proposal writing training, and I had lunch with the trainer, very, very accomplished person. I talked about my background and the context, and he looked in the eye and said, don't write the proposal. It's too risky. And I thought about this, and I wanted this proposal even to fail because I could use it for domestic purposes. I had another agenda domestically. I thought, okay, if I write a strong proposal, I can submit it, and then I can turn around and use it as an attachment to a domestic proposal before this EU proposal is rejected. If I had this like 5-month window between submission and rejection, and so my goal was to use this proposal as the next strengthen my domestic application. Ultimately, Solar Twins was adopted. The domestic application was moved. for the solar hub. And so the solar hub is the one that I'm coordinating right now. And this is why I was invited. I was speaking with a colleague of mine about this call, and he looked me in the eye and said, "Hey, this call's not appropriate for you." And so again, I ignored the advice and went home and did this. And for solar heat, when this draft program for the widening program came out, I skimmed through it and I identified two calls that I thought were very synergistic. One was Excellence Hub, the other one was the European Excellence Initiative. Right? So, okay, I'm going to submit to both of these. If I am lucky, one will be accepted. I submitted to both. I got lucky. One was accepted and one was rejected. And so you have to take calculated risks because it is a risk. And you have to accept that the evaluation process may be flawed. But even though it may be flawed, I think I've probably benefited from good luck more than I've been negatively impacted by bad luck, or I've had more good luck than bad. And so I feel very, very fortunate about that. So moving on to the second theme about emerging energy value chains in the widening countries, this is where we'll specifically get into Solar Hub. So Solar Hub is a Greek purpose solar energy excellence hub to advance the European Green Deal. The objective is to synergistically transform Greece and Turkey's 5 solar energy innovation hubs, accelerate realization of national and European Green Deal aligned energy through economic, social, and environmental priorities. So this is our excellence hub. We have what are called 2 central nodes. The first central node is in Ankara, Turkey, and the second central node is in Thessaloniki in Greece. And the central nodes are characterized by completing the quadruple helix. So the quadruple helix means you have actors from 4 sectors: academic, business, public authorities, and societal actors. And so this was a core part of this excellence hub call, was to complete the quadruple helix. And so we completed the quadruple helix at these 2 central, what we call central ecosystems. We complemented this with 3 satellite nodes: Istanbul, Izmir, and Athens, where the satellite nodes only contain the academic and business partners. And so this then is the 2 largest cities in Greece and the 3 largest cities in Turkey. This became our geographical footprint. This is our consortium. And so we have 7 academic partners, 9 business partners, 3 public authorities, and 2 societal actors. You can see here what the role in the consortium is. You can see the country. You can see the ecosystem. So ANK is Ankara, THA is Thessaloniki, ATH is Athens, IZM is Izmir, and IST is Istanbul. So you can see that some of these actors are active in multiple ecosystems. We also included what are called leading partners. One is DLR, which is from Germany. We have IDI, International Development Collaborative. And then we also have the Solar Heat Europe, which is the European Solar Thermal Industrial Federation from. And so these come from Western European countries, but each of these was already very active in our footprint. As this came out to be our consortium. And so before, we spent a lot of time at GUNA thinking about how do we want to construct our consortium. We mapped out a lot of different potential footprints, a lot of different potential partners. And ultimately, we decided to go with this Greek purpose footprint and to focus on CERC and PRESS as our core Greek partners. And this comes back to our relations from EU Solaris. Both CERC and PRESS were also part of EU Solaris, and we had very, very long and very strong collaborations with them. And so a very, very high level of trust. And so this is where we started. Talk approached us about the call, and Talk had been collaborating with IDI through the Turkey Horizon 2020. The main contact for IDI is actually a Greek from Thessaloniki, who is active in Turkish EU projects. And so this was more of a horizontal, similar to this GREENET, and this becomes specific to solar energy. And so we merged these two together, and these became the 5 work package leaders. And then we filled in the rest of the consortium. We actually had about 40 institutions that we wanted to invite, and we had to distill this down into 21 that we thought were the strongest. And so as we went through the consortium building process, we spent a lot of time debating and thinking critically about who do we want to invite? Because it's very easy to invite a partner. But once they accept, it's really, really difficult to uninvite them. And this is one of the key ideas. And so we have, I'm really, really happy with the consortium that we ended up with. So we have what I call 3 core work packages. Work package 1 is about strategies. Work package 2 is about capacities. And work package 3 is about activities, specifically our joint research and innovation activities. And so I will start by talking about tasks 3.1 through 3.4, which are the work package 3 tasks, as a bottom-up approach to understanding the overall structure for our project. And then we'll move back to work package 1 or work package 2. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the details for this. These slides are very specific to solar energy technologies. I can just say that we have what are called 4 pre-designs. And the pre-designs are joint research activities with a target to commercialization. And so the first pre-design leverages Turkey's and Greece's strengths in what's called non-concentrated solar thermal technologies. And so both Turkey and Greece are global leaders in flat plate solar thermal technologies. And the goal was almost all of this capacity in Turkey and Greece is applied to the domestic hot water, residential, and not to industry. And so we wanted to adapt this expertise from the domestic sector into industry. For pre-design 2, this is concentrated solar thermal. And basically, we are working to valorize agricultural waste, where we upgrade agricultural waste into a synthetic liquid fuel. And so this pre-design 2 has actually catalyzed a successful follow-up EU proposal that will be starting in the next few months. Pre-designs 3 and 4 are strongly coupled. They're both related to what's called agrovoltaics. And so here you see what are photovoltaic panels that are located above crops. And so this is significant because you can co-locate photovoltaic with agricultural production. And if it's done properly, you can actually increase the output from agriculture. And so this pre-design 3 focuses on taller, like green type of agriculture. Pre-design 4 focuses on lower things like tomatoes. So from this bottom research and innovation activities, we coupled this to these capacities, task 2.3 on green economic growth, where we're working on developing what are called green business plans. And so work package 3 focuses on the development of a technology. This task 2.3 focuses on commercialization pathways. And then the 1.2 under work package 1 strategies is developing a joint research and innovation agenda. And so bottom activity, where we're looking at how do we internally collaborate, internally being within the consortium. This is complemented by what are called innovation support tasks. And so while these research and innovation solution tasks are very much focused inside a consortium, the innovation support tasks are focused on the hub level. And so it includes actors who are not part of the consortium, but are within our hub. We have task 1.1 on hub strategies. We have task 1.3 on policies and investments, and specifically This is supporting a bilateral Greek-Turkish call that we hope comes out in 2025. We have training under Work Package 2, 2.1 to develop our skills and competencies. And then we have an accelerator under Task 2.2. And this accelerator is open to people outside the consortium. It targets people outside the consortium. So helping people outside the consortium to develop and commercialize their products. So this Work Package 1, 2, and 3 become the work packages that are very much unique to Solar Hub. These are supported by Work Package 4, which would be kind of a classical dissemination, exploitation, and communication work package, and also Work Package 5, which is the project management. So moving forward into our ambitions and our vision, going back to Work Package 1, co-designing strategies and policies, we've been doing a lot of work with mapping our ecosystems to develop strategies, the hub level, joint research and innovation strategies, also aligning our policies and investment action plan. And what has been really, really satisfying for me is that as we go through these activities, we start to develop insight into our ecosystems we did not have before. And this insight is giving us competitive advantage. And this insight is leading to what I see as an abundance of professional opportunities. And this really hit me about a year ago. Before the project started, I looked out at our landscape and I saw scarcity. And now I see abundance. This has been an incredibly satisfying change in the perspective. Our ecosystem has not fundamentally changed so much as our vision and our understanding of the ecosystem has changed. And so we see all of these opportunities. And these opportunities, though, they are opportunities. We may succeed and we may fail. But ultimately, if there was no chance of failure, it's all be really, really boring. So this chance of failure is what makes it all interesting. And I accept that. And this is what drives me is, can we go through this and succeed? And so we've been evolving our vision from Solar Hub to Helio Hub. And so here on this axis, you have time. On the x-axis, on the y-axis, you have the scope of the activities and the number of the collaborators or the extent of the collaborators. And we have Solar Hub as this very well-defined EU-funded Horizon Europe project. It starts on the 1st of January 2023. It ends 31st of December 2026. And what we've discussed a lot is, well, what's the state of the world the day after Solar Hub ends? Why is the world in a better place after Solar Hub ends? And so focusing on this question about why is the world a better place the day after Solar Hub ends, we've been working on this Helio Hub. And so Helio Hub becomes a self-sustaining, dynamic, and inclusive solar energy excellence hub. So it's bigger from Solar Hub in terms of the activities and the collaborators, and it goes on indefinitely. And we continue to develop these opportunities for our members. And this becomes our vision and our ambition for what we're looking for. So creating energy value chains in widening countries or any country requires innovation. As I mentioned early on in this presentation, I support the evaluation of EU proposals, including Innovation Fund proposals. And one of the unique characteristics of Innovation Fund proposals is that the experts have to assess the degree of innovation. And I have to state whether or not this proposal is expected to have limited, incremental, intermediate, strong, very strong, or breakthrough innovation. So after lots of thinking about what's happening, so O2 is the university that I'm associated with. Ankara is the city where I'm located, and Turkey more generally, IE is innovation ecosystem. And after thinking lots about what's happening, I think that we are excellent at incremental innovation. This is where we are. But as soon as somebody has an idea that it goes beyond incremental innovation, we go to some more well-developed innovation ecosystem, typically like Western Europe or maybe the United States or somewhere else, where it is easier for them to realize their ambitions. And this becomes one of the barriers. I've talked with people from Malta about this, and they have the exact same problem, as does Greece. This seems to be typical for widening countries. The leading innovations in widening countries tend to be excellent at incremental innovation, but have lots of problems going beyond incremental. And so what I would like to do is to strengthen our ecosystem such that we are excellent and strong green innovation. And so I think it's probably a little bit too ambitious to target very strong or breakthrough. I think strong is something that we can do. And I think we can particularly do this under this green umbrella. And so about a month ago, I submitted a follow-up proposal called iHelioHeat, Interconnected Innovation Ecosystems to co-create integrated solar heat solutions to decarbonize industry. And so iHelioHeat then becomes the method to move us from 2024 to 2030. And this is my overall vision for what's happening. This large circle on the outside is helium. And so it's very comprehensive opportunities. Now, underneath this, you have like HelioHeat, which is here. You have HelioHelix, which is a startup company that has been funded under the Erasmus Young Entrepreneurs Program. You have the Solar Sparks program. You have EU Solaris and other strongly aligned projects and proposals. And so all of this becomes a constellation of different activities, and iHelioHeat is just one part of this larger movement. So the strong innovation requires, this is my own kind of hindsight, trying to assess and make meaning of what I see happening. I see that strong innovation requires a disruptive vision based on insight. And so we can graph. So I see kind of five dimensions of innovation: the ambitions and capacities, ecosystems, network, and vision. So ecosystems becomes things like access to finance, the culture, ambitions, capacities. So ambitions is very much kind of internal at the individual level. Capacities are your individual and institutional capacities, networks, vision. And so vision here is a disruptive vision. And so you can see kind of what I see as a relative importance of these five different metrics to incremental innovation versus strong innovation. And so critically, strong innovation to me requires networks and a disruptive vision. And I see this mapping onto EU proposals. You need these five same components to have a strong EU proposal: ambitions, capacities, ecosystems, networks, and the vision. Needs to align individual, institutional, national consortium, and European interests. Critically, the European interests are strongly defined by the call text and other supporting documentation. And if you can write a proposal where you strongly advance the European interests, and you couple this with individual, institutional, national, consortium interests, you're going to end up with a strong proposal. But having a strong proposal is not sufficient to be funded. You also need to be lucky. And so you need to submit more than one proposal. So with this, I'll close my presentation. This is our Solar Hub Consortium. You can see there's a lot of different partners here contributing to this project. As a final idea, as I was reflecting on this presentation, I thought that what I'm really trying to do now is to have this benefit to cost ratio for writing a fair proposal to be greater than the benefit to cost ratio for an alternate activity. Because I talked about this benefits to a failed proposal. Now, if I would go beyond the benefits to a failed proposal to actually creating value, regardless of whether or not the proposal is accepted or not, you've really de-risked the situation, because it has a risky to write your proposal given a high failure rate. And so you need to be able to find residual value. And this is what I think we were able to do for this proposal that we submitted ideally last month, was we intentionally went through the proposal writing process to create significant value just by writing the proposal. And so this to me is a very, very important idea. And with this, I will close my presentation. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baker, for this very, very interesting presentation. Of course, this is about a webinar where we showcase good practices. So thank you so much for dedicating the first part to basically how you got there, and explaining also that proposal writing, it's a work in progress. It takes some time. You have to fail to succeed, and this is a very, very optimistic message that we pass today here. So you said I have some questions prepared for you. We still have some time before we go to the last presentation. Some of these you have already covered to a certain extent. I would like also to invite whoever from the participants would like to say something, to send you a question also, to do so. So we saw a number of proposals and projects that you have participated. You already mentioned the story behind, how you decided to go for excellence hubs. And we already indicated the quite evident role and importance of collaboration within different sectors and different actors of the quadruple helix. So I would like to tell us more about, in your opinion, what do you think is the role of these actors in energy value chains? And overall, because we are talking about regional ecosystems and transnational cooperation under a common framework, this is what the joint strategy represents. Whether you think that regional ecosystem, local regional ecosystem, place-based ecosystems, as put in the work program, can be the drivers for strategic value chains at local or regional level, and to what extent?
Okay, so thank you very much. So the quadruple helix to me is a very, very interesting concept. I had never heard the term before I read the full text. And so it became very apparent to me when I read the full text, I need to understand the quadruple helix to be completed. And so for me, it was kind of like a leap of faith, saying, okay, this is what the European Commission wants. I'm going to assume that this is something that is done. I didn't have enough knowledge to say, yes, it was good or bad. I said, if I want to be funded, I have to convincingly do this. And so I did it. And so in hindsight, I really, really appreciate this, bringing together these different actors. And so it's been different for me because we do have Tubitak as one of our work package leaders, who's from the public authority, public sector, scientific funding agency. And we meet 2 weeks, and we always bring in these perspectives from the scientific funding agency to our mapping activities, mapping strategies. And this perspective has been very, very valuable to me. And so it's given me insight. And so this insight, again, is what is leading to what I see as an abundance of opportunities. Similarly with IDIs. IDI is an innovation factor. They're not sort of energy, they're innovation. And the main person or the scientist, a successful and knowledgeable person about EU funding horizontally, it brings in all of this knowledge. And so, again, when I started, I was with Bruno, Research, and Fred, which are all research actors in solar energy. And we were able to merge this with Tubitak and IDI as more horizontal innovative actors. And the synergies have really created a lot of value. And so also one of the main challenges for a lot of renewable energy technologies is public acceptance. And so bringing in a societal actor immediately needs to address this public acceptance problem, to create solutions to overcome public acceptance challenges. And so again, I did appreciate this when I first started the proposal. It's only been as I worked through the project that I really appreciate the value of having these different actors. And so now whenever I construct a consortium, I want to include the different consortiums. I want to include the different quadrants because it creates value. I see value in doing this. Going back to the regional place innovation ecosystem. So for me, it's been really, really satisfying in that Solar Hub, from my perspective, has catalyzed a lot of follow-up collaborations that would not have existed without it. And so it's provided a platform for us to talk and to make strategy. And so we find so many common challenges between Greece and Turkey, and also common opportunities. And so you talked about regional innovation ecosystems. And so again, I see huge opportunities because we have similar challenges. We have kind of a similar, what's the proper word, like geography, weather conditions, meteorological conditions, and things like this. And so our environment is very, very similar. And it's
the
different
climate.
from the climate, exactly, the climate. And it's different from someone, let's just say, in kind of arbitrarily. And so this gives us unique insight into the challenges that we face are unique to us. And I think we have some unique insight then that allows us to target this where people from outside, they don't have the insight. And this is where I really want to focus is targeting challenges that are unique to us and what we share.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for this feedback. I don't see any other questions on the chat, so I will continue with some other questions that I have prepared. Let's focus now on the widening countries, and in your opinion, there are already some funding instruments like this. You have already mentioned what are the benefits in terms of collaboration, transnational, regional collaboration, about the similarities in strategies, local, national strategies. So what do you think specifically could be the barriers and the opportunities for widening countries in this frame in general?
I think the biggest barrier is networks. One of the biggest barriers is networks. So networks and also just what your research area is. And so again, I am really lucky in that my research area is concentrated solar thermal, which has a small European community and is very collaborative. If I had been in a different research area, let's just arbitrarily say gas turbines, it would have been much more difficult for me to have this much success in European research. And so in that sense, I'm lucky. The networks, again, they are important because the calls are most of the calls are hyper competitive. And the people who are successful, they become very strategic in who they invite to their consortium. And so when I construct a consortium, I typically try to mix maybe about half of the partners being partners that I have very, very high trust in, and the other half being partners that I have never collaborated with before, but I want to strengthen my collaborations with them for some reason. And so I say where we, I can bluntly say, my networks are weak in Balkans. And so if I think about a future proposal, if there was an opportunity to include a Balkan institution, I would love to do this because it's our weak point. But on the other hand, it becomes risky inviting institutions that you've never collaborated with before because some institutions, they do not perform at the proposal level or at the project level. And so if you invite a non-performing institution and you give them a lead role, it really jeopardizes the proposal and the project. And so it's risky. So you have to balance the benefit to expand your network, which is the risk to an underperforming partner. And so it's taken us a long time to develop our networks. we've been really, really careful to make sure that we have a very strong reputation within our networks, and that we are known as an institution that delivers without any drama. And it's one of our strengths. I can say that other institutions I know have been given similar opportunities, and they've not been able to capitalize on this, and they have not performed, and therefore they're not included in follow-up proposals. And so it is hard, no doubt about it. The amount of money you're talking about, it should be this amount of money, floating around. And so also I just said it's taken us about 10 years to get to this point. It's not something that happened overnight. It's been a long, slow, and strategic process to move up. And so that's, I think, maybe the challenges are the networks and the areas, the opportunities. I think I look around in our own ecosystem, and I think that there are huge opportunities for people who are not contributing to EU-funded research to do this and to increase value at European level. And to me, this is a key idea, is that Europe is not going to fund us because it's good for me, because it's good for Bernier, but going to fund us because it's good for Europe. And we have to communicate the same proposal, and I think that Europe would benefit by making more complete use of a lot of our researchers and our ecosystems. And so this becomes one of my strategies for writing key proposals, is trying to exploit this, what I consider to be underutilized human resource capacities, aligning very, very promising researchers, lining it up or connecting them with proposals. And so this becomes, I think, the opportunity for Europe, and this is exactly why I think we have this webinar workshop today.
Great, thank you so much. And last, I still cannot see any questions, so I will close with my last question that I prepared. This is about digitization, and if you can tell us how, in your opinion, you think it can affect or can have an impact on energy value chains.
Okay, so this is a very timely question. So the last call that was stated about digital solutions for the CSP area. I think it closes in February. And so again, my background is CSP, and at the European level, they clearly say there are huge opportunities to couple CSP with digitalization. So again, Europe is my customer. Whatever they say is right. And so if they say this coupling is right, I'm going to say it's right and try to write a proposal about how we do this. And so we've been in discussion with different actors, digital actors at our university about how do we combine their expertise in digital technologies, digital solutions with CST. And it's an ongoing discussion. But I do see huge potential to do this. And I think this is one of the areas where I think that these research groups and this expertise at our university is exploited at European level. And what they really need is they need an opportunity. And so if I can give this to them, I think they're going to work really, really hard and do a really good job, and they're going to make me look good. And so that kind of becomes my motivation. And this is something that we're trying to do right now, is to couple CST, other areas, areas with these digital expertise.
Great, thank you so much. This is from my end, and thank you so much for participating in this session. I think your contribution was really important for showcasing the project that is, let's say, a new kind of a call under the WIDERA, but also in general on very, very useful tips that you gave us on proposal writing. We're going to continue with the next presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Baker. If you want, you can stay
very much
with us.
I'll stay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. We will continue with the next and final presentation for today. So focusing more on industry and the role of SMEs also, and the private sector, of course, in collaboration with research and other bigger corporations. It is very important to highlight the potential for bringing new developing new and emerging technologies in bringing added value to the end users. Yes, this is, yeah, I would like to ask my colleagues from Tubitak. The presentation will be from Ms. Christina Chimonidi. She's going to give us more details about the funding opportunities under EIC, under Pillar 3. So I would like to ask my colleagues, Hanife, to give the host make a host, my colleague Christina.
Christina, the name of the Christina, only Christina we see. Is she, I think?
Yes, yes. I don't know if she has joined as a panelist, to be honest. Don't see her. She's here. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you can make her a host, and we can close this webinar with this presentation. Christina?
Hello. I hope you can see me.
Yes. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Hanife. Thank you all for inviting me, the GREENET Consortium. My name is Maria Cristina Chimonidi, and I am the NCP in Greece for the European Innovation Council, the Marie Curie Actions, and the European Research Council. And today I will be telling you a little bit about the European Innovation Council and our CSA action that it is run by the EIC NCPs about the access to EIC. Let me share my presentation. So I don't know how much you know about the European Innovation Council and its actions in Europe. Of course, you know, of course, it's in the Pillar 3 of the Horizon Europe. Let's talk about a little bit about innovation in Europe in general. What is holding back innovation in Europe? What we know in terms of performance is that we have a strong research in Europe, but the problem is that it is not often translated into innovation. And also that we have a lack of breakthrough or disruptive innovations that can create new markets and open new paths in the industry. In terms of funding and investments, it was noticed that there are many financial gaps, and there are many valleys of death in terms of in the transition from the laboratory to the enterprise state, and also in the scaling up for the high research in high-risk innovative startups. Also, in terms of ecosystem, in the perspective of the ecosystems, there are many national and local ecosystems, but the whole system is fragmented at the European level. And also, there is a need to include all regions and all talent, especially the females. Who is going to be the lead in the next strategic innovations? We knew that in the past, the European Union was included as a strategic innovator along with the US. We have seen a lot of different advances in energy, in car, in airplanes, in semiconductor areas. While now in the present, we know that the US is leading the innovations along with Asia, with the social media, with AI, 3D printing, and other innovations. And what about the future? We know that the future has to do in the sectors of the agri-food, AI, energy and environment tech, and hydrogen, since we are talking about the cluster 5 and energy storage technologies. So what Europe wants is to be the leader again in these areas in terms of innovation. So what is different with the European Innovation Council? The European Innovation Council has a 10 billion budget from Horizon Europe in order to develop emerging and disruptive technologies. It is a one-stop shop for all the TRLs. It promotes technology transfer from the laboratory to the market for startups and SMEs with a scale-up potential. The EAC board itself is consisting of businessmen, investors, and researchers that know from firsthand how to take a company from the laboratory and take it to the market, the products. It also holds many corporations for the reinforcement of the European innovation ecosystem. It provides business accelerator services. It has created instruments like Plugin and Seal of Excellence, and it cooperates with the EIT European, the EIT and the ERC, and along with the EN and other bodies in the European Union. And also it has the component of the equity component, which is called the European Innovation Council Fund, that itself invests in selected companies and mobilizes public and private venture capitals. Now let me present you the main financial instruments that are under the EAC. At first, we have the EAC Pathfinder, that if you want to apply for an EAC Pathfinder, you have to create a small consortium. You can ask for grant up to 4 million euros, and your technology can be from TRL 0, and it can reach up to TRL 3 or 4. In the EAC Pathfinder, you can request funding, and you have to apply for something that it's a radical new technology. It's something that we have not seen yet, and we want to see in the next 20, 30 years, 10 to 20 years, let's say, not 30 years. And it is something high risk, but also high gain. After the EAC Pathfinder, the next financial instrument is the EAC Transition. Again, you can apply in small consortia or single companies, and you can request funding up to 2.5 million in form of a grant. And the whole point of the EAC Transition is to get the ideas that were under the EAC Pathfinder or under other funded selected programs or from AIDS 2020 or AIDS Horizon Europe so far, and take them to the next maturity levels between from TRL 3 or 4 to TRL 6. And of course, after the EAC Transition, we have the EAC Accelerator, which is the most prestigious and the most, let's say, popular now financial instrument. It is for single companies. At first, you can apply for a grant up to 2.5 million euros, and then you can request equity funding that can reach even 15 million euros. For the EAC Accelerator, you need to be at least at TRL 6, and the funding that you can get can reach you until TRL 9, and then the exit to market. It is very important to say here that if you are a holder of an EAC Pathfinder, EAC Transition, or EAC Accelerator program, you can get the EAC Accelerator services. That it means that you have access to mentors, business coaching, you can have access to innovation ecosystems and the global partners, and also you can be part of the EAC community platform with many benefits. Also, the EAC has a number of different prizes for women innovators, capital of innovation, innovation procurement, social innovation, Horizon humanitarian innovation. And what is also important is that the EAC grants the Seal of Excellence, but also helps to get more funding, especially national or regional. Here I'm putting the framework from the last work program. We're expecting the new program to be announced in the next day, so I don't have the exact details yet, but please know that they're going to be more or less the same in a year from now. So we expect, for example, for the EAC Accelerator, the next cutoff for the full proposal to be around the 5th of March. And now a little bit, I want to talk to you a little bit about the access to EAC, that is the network of the European Innovation Council NCPs. The access to EAC is the network of 16 partners that share the common purpose to work as a network, supporting national applicants and raising the quality of applications submitted under the European Innovation Council till 2027. As a project, we have 6 work packages that have different targets to train the NCPs, to create a toolbox, to foster synergies, to understand and propel financial instruments, and communication and dissemination purposes. The goal is to have improved professionalized EIC NCP services across Europe that will help simplify access to the European Innovation Council calls, including the NCPs from less experienced and low participating countries. We also want to make available more effective tools to potential applicants, leading to lowering the entry barriers for the newcomers and the organizations located in countries participating insufficiently at the EIC calls, including the widening countries and women participants, and to be able to raise the average quality of the proposals that are submitted. We aim to further develop the role of the NCPs within the European innovation ecosystem and to be able to engage the stakeholders to cooperate in order to strengthen the European innovation ecosystem, to maximize the synergies between the EIC companies, innovators with investors, and more effective utilization of financial engineering instruments and potential to unlock private investments and access to related investor facilities, building further the European innovation ecosystem. Lastly, we want to increase awareness, as I am doing today now to you, to potential applicants on the European Innovation Council opportunities in Horizon Europe countries, and to be able to promote to you our tools, programs, and financial instruments, and as a target, of course, widening and female entrepreneurs. Here I have for you some tools that we have created in the project. There are the templates for the different stages and the instruments that I have already described to you. We have here the EIC Accelerator for the short proposal phase pitch deck. We have created an annotated proposal template for the EIC Pathfinder tool, for the EIC Transition tool, and for the EIC Accelerator full proposal. This is the network for the access to EIC if you want to learn more information, if you want to ask for help when you're preparing for your applications. Because today the goal was to inform the applicants of the different calls that they can apply and to request funding, I also wanted to take 2 minutes to talk to you about the EN to EIC project, that it is a project collaboration between EN advisors and the EIC consortium. It is a project that started in 2022 and will finish the next year. The coordinator is APRE. And the focus of the EN to EIC project is to empower the EN network offices to support potential EIC applicants, thus increasing the number of quality proposals to the EIC calls. And it has a specific focus on the widening countries, the women-led innovative companies, and the Seal of Excellence holders. So please check if you have an EN advisor in your country that can provide for you special services in order to be able for you to apply to the EIC calls, especially the EIC Accelerator calls. So that's all from my part. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Christina, for your presentation. Yeah, before we close, I don't see any questions in the chat. So I think if nobody else would like to say something, we can close with some remarks about today's webinar. So first of all, thank you all for being here, the speakers and the participants. So we hope that this webinar helped you, first of all, to understand better how national contact point networks work and what kind of assistance and support you can find. Since this is for energy related topics, we also, and this is a task that is coordinated by GREENET. So you can go on the website, you can see what are the available tools and services GREENET offers. You can go on the WideDataNet website to see if there is an event that you would like to visit and network, how you can apply for travel grants. If you are preparing a proposal and you are a coordinator from widening country, then you can apply on the portal and say some more details about your proposal in order to receive recommendation, pre-screening recommendations. We saw also what is the importance in terms of emerging value chains, what is the importance of the collaboration between different local, regional ecosystems and between different actors at local and transnational level. We saw how networking and collaboration and how the utilization of the existing networks, it is very important in this regard, but also when it comes to proposal preparation. We saw what is the funding opportunities under the Pillar 3, so for innovation support, that we already identified that this is a key component if for widening countries to play a key role in value chains, in energy value chains. We saw also the importance of the digitization, so how we need to consider this as part of the whole process, and to network and build partnerships with stakeholders and experts specialized in this field. So yeah, this is from my end. I don't know if my colleagues, speakers would like to add something before we close. We hope that you found this webinar useful. And as I said before, we will have available the presentations and of course, all speakers provided also their contact details. So we will have also the recording available on the website, on the GREENET website. And before we close and before I give the floor to my other colleagues, I would like to say that we will come back to you just to check how you found this webinar, because we will continue with other webinars in the future. So it's very important to have feedback and to know how we can be better, if we can include other topics. It is very important for us to have this feedback for you. So please send us your feedback, and let's keep in contact in any case. So Miriam, would you like to say something before we close?
Just thank you everybody for participating, and thanks to the speakers whose presentations were all so very, very interesting, especially the roundtable that you, Maria, managed was very interesting. Thank you very much to you as organizer as well.
Thanks a lot. Benjamin, would you like to say something? Thank you so much for this presentation and for your contribution. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Baker. Would you like to say something before we close? Okay, great. Thanks a lot. And let's keep in contact, and wish you a nice day. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.